Hey traders, Clifford back with another video on trading the charts. So today I just want to make a quick video that goes over how you can use Fibonacci to the best of your ability in your trading, as well as what to do and how to readjust Fibonacci levels when significant support and resistance levels are broken. So with that being said, let's get started. Okay, so Fibonacci. Let's talk about it. So, if you've seen any of my other videos, I'm a big believer in Fibonacci, and I believe that you can use Fibonacci a lot in your trading because these support and resistance levels that the market makes are pretty significant. Um, and just to recap, the way that I use Fibonacci, me personally, is I look for the 1 year low and the 1 year high, and then I divide the chart in half, and basically what I do is I put the Fibonacci retracement from the high to the low for the year, and it gives me the most powerful 50% retracement level, which is right in the middle here. Basically, if you take the bottom, well, in this case, it's the S&P 500. So I take the bottom level here, 3671, and add it to the top level, 4276. Get the total, divide it by 2, and that gives me the 50% retracement level. But you don't even have to do that because this tool does it all for you. You just take this and draw out, oh wait, you as the color, I had a different template, but yeah, you take this and you draw out your levels, and it gives you everything there. And then of course in between those levels, the the 0 level and of course the 100% level, because remember, this is the beginning of the move and this is the end of the move, from the low to the high for the year. In this example, we're looking at S&P 500 futures, but so, and then you got these levels in between, like the 23%, or sorry, the 23% level, 38% level, 61% level, 78% level. So these are significant too, and I use those as well. But the main one I focus on is the 50% and these little ones in between, and that's about it. That's how I trade. And then basically I look for like rejections at those levels. So like you know, so like here's the 50% level. See how a hammer form, it rejected that level. To me, that's a buying opportunity because it couldn't get below the 50% retracement level. Um, what's another one? Maybe like you see like stuff happen. You gotta like look at the levels and watch for rejection. So like here you see how, okay, so this level, what is this? The 78% level. See how the market came down, tested it, rejected it. That's another buying signal, and you would have made a profit. I mean, of course, you gotta, you know, you depending on where you got out, you would have made a profit there. Same thing here. Market comes back down, tests the Fibonacci level, rejects it. You could buy again here, and you would have made some more profit or whatever, and that's all fine and great. But what do you do when the market? So here is the 1 year high that I was watching since, back in 2022, we had the October low, and then we got the 1 year high back in February 2023. And look, it took the market like, what is this, February, March, April, right? It took all the way until now, June. So it took almost a couple months there, 3 months, whatever. But now it broke above the high. So what do? Do you just leave it like this? Well, no, you have to adjust it. So how do you adjust it? That's the point of the video. What I do is I go like this. So my new 1 year high, I'll move it to here. I'll move this up like that. All right. And then I will, oh wait, take the Fibonacci and slide my new 100% level up here as well, right? And then I just got to adjust my 50% retracement level, which is this, oh wait, sorry, the take this one, the white one, and move it there. That's the new 50% level. So now I look at my chart from a distance, and I got my new levels aligned. Here's the 1 year, sorry, the low for October 2022, and we're still within 1 year because we're not at October 2023 yet. So the new high for the year is in June. Now again, it wasn't here, but that is old, so I got to readjust it. So now, and again, you just keep doing this as the market changes levels. So like here's the NASDAQ, right? Here's the NQ. For those of you who follow the NASDAQ, I'm looking at the futures contract, but again, I mean, it should be the same if you're looking at an ETF or whatever. It really doesn't matter. So again, NASDAQ has made new highs and it's broken the yearly high, which was, I think, back here. Here was the high, here was the low for the year, and then look, it broke that high, right? So what would I do? Well, same thing. I'll move it up here like that, right? And then I will take my Fibonacci tool, slide it. This is the new 100% level because this is the new high for the year, right? And and then I'll adjust my 50% level one more time here, and that's it. And now I'm in line. So, and again, you just keep doing this as the market makes new highs or new lows. You just keep adjusting these levels. Eventually, it's going to hit a top or a bottom, like it did here. Like you see here, you would adjusted these levels out to the bottom here, and you see that bottom, and then finally, boom, it hit the bottom. So that was the real bottom of the market. Now, the top, we don't know where it is. You know, no one knows, of course, um, but this is the way that I personally like to readjust these levels. And then finally, I'll look at this one too, the RTY. The three that I watch the most are the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and the Russell 2000. Sometimes I watch the Dow too, but even the Dow, like, look, see, here's a perfect example. Here's the low for the year, September 2022. Here's the high for the year, December 2022. Now it's starting to get close, but I haven't moved it yet because it hasn't broken this high. On the Russell, for example, here's the high for the year, here's the low for the year. Now it did break above the 50% level, right? But it's nowhere near the high, which is up here. Or sorry, the high, yeah, the high's up there, like 2000 something, right? So if the Russell gets back up here, then I'll readjust it again, and that's what you do. You just stay on top of your levels. Um, Another thing you could look at is for buying signals, selling signals. Here's a huge bullish momentum. It breaks above the 50% retracement level, right? Then it rejects that level. So to me, that's a buying signal. You could put a buy order here and put maybe a stop loss like underneath this candle here, right? And of course, I mean, if you get stopped out, then obviously, well, hey, your analysis was wrong. But if you don't get stopped, but as you see, this level's been tested many times, and that's why these 50% retracement levels are so significant. They will get tested and tested and tested, and the more times it gets tested and rejects it and can't break through that level, the more significant that support becomes, and that's why you'll see buyers attracted to those levels. Um, what's another one here? The Nasdaq. So like me, I wouldn't buy the Nasdaq now because look, I mean, this rally is way overbought. You don't want to buy at the high, you want to buy at the low. So probably you want to be buying the Nasdaq somewhere around here. See this support and resistance here? Support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, right? Usually, one tip I'll say for those of you who are new, like when you get a support level, then you get a resistance level, and this is why you don't need indicators. Support and resistance is really all you ever need to trade the market. You don't need indicators. And some people may think I'm crazy for saying that, but when I started trading like 20 years ago, I used to use indicators. I use them a lot, but I don't anymore because I learned that price is the best indicator. And not to get off topic, but like you see out here, well, I'll do this real quick example, although we're really not doing trading strategies today. It was more about Fibonacci, but I'll just show you this one. So like here's resistance, right? This level here, 13,475. You see how when the market broke above that level here, what did it do? It came back, right? Give me a line here. Boom. Market breaks above. and it comes right back down, rejects resistance, which actually, what does that do? It creates support. Because remember, when the market breaks through resistance and then it comes back and retests that level, that resistance becomes support. So now that this resistance is support and you get a rejection from this support level, which was an old resistance level, that's the time to buy, man. That's the freaking time to buy, in my opinion. Um, same thing here. Here's a resistance level. Now, sometimes the market will not come back and retest. That's fine. Just stay on the sidelines and wait till it does, because sometimes you just don't want to trade. Like, I mean, am I going to be like, okay, so yeah, okay, here's a resistance level that broke. Market didn't come back to retest, and the market took off without me. Okay, so did I miss the boat? No, there's always another train coming around the corner. I mean, this business, there's always going to be trades that eventually appear. Sometimes you got to be patient, and sometimes staying on the sidelines is the best position to be in while you're waiting for the right opportunity. Um, where else can I show you support and resistance? Did it retest it here? Okay, see, here you go. See what I mean? Like, here was a resistance level. The market broke through, and it now sometimes it'll do this too. Sometimes it'll it'll so here's resistance, right? Boom, market breaks through. Now it didn't bounce off the resistance and create a new support level, but you can still, even if you don't get a rejection of the support level, as long as it's pulling back to test that level, you could be a buyer there, and you could put a stop loss, somewhere underneath this candle back here, so that way you're safe and you don't get stopped out. And then look, as you see, after it broke, after it hit, yeah, it never got below this huge candle here. That's where all the buyers were at. So that's another example. But anyways, the main point of this video was about Fibonacci. So just remember that if you're using Fibonacci and you are trying to find the market highs and lows, just remember that over a period of time, as the market makes new highs and lows, keep adjusting the level. And the last thing I'll say is this: if you're in a situation like this, and then the market breaks this high, I'll be watching. Then I'll move it again, and I'll adjust everything all over again until finally the market, forms a new support and resistance level. It's that simple. You just want to keep moving your levels as the market continues to make new highs and lows. So that's about it for this video. If you guys liked the video, feel free to like, subscribe, put your comments below. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. And as always, my friends, trade what you see on the charts. Trade well.